You wake up tomorrow in a world you have never seen before. No instructions, no teacher, no one telling you what to do. You don't know where food is. You don't know what sounds mean danger. You don't know where you belong. And yet, somehow, you already know things. You know what to fear. You know who to follow. You know where to go. You know a language you have never been taught. For humans, that sounds impossible. But for a bird, this is where life begins. A tiny creature enters the world carrying information it never learned. And the strangest part is, nobody put it there. Nature did. Because hidden inside some of the smallest brains on Earth is something scientists are still trying to understand. A kind of invisible instruction manual. A memory that existed before experience. A knowledge that arrived before the first lesson. And once you see what birds are capable of, you start realizing they are not simply learning about the world. Some of them are born already knowing parts of it. Most people think learning works in one direction. A teacher gives information, a student receives it. A parent shows a child what to do. The child copies, but birds break that idea. Because sometimes there is no teacher, there is no example, there is no one to copy, and somehow the answer appears anyway. Take the zebra finch, a small bird, famous for one thing, its song. For a young zebra finch, learning a song is usually a family tradition. A father sings, the young bird listens, it copies, it practices. Eventually, it creates the song of its species. But scientists wondered something strange. What happens if there is no teacher? What happens if a bird grows up without ever hearing the correct song? So researchers raised zebra finches in isolation. No adults, no normal songs, no example to follow. And at first, the bird sang something completely wrong. A strange, messy version of a song. But then something unexpected happened. Their descendants changed it. A little. Generation after generation, the song slowly moved closer and closer to the normal zebra finch song. By around the fourth or fifth generation, the species' original song had returned. No teacher, no recording, no adult bird showing them the answer. The song somehow emerged again. Almost like the melody had been waiting inside their biology, not perfectly stored like a recording, but like a hidden blueprint, a starting point, a direction, a tiny piece of knowledge passed down through time. And that raises a strange question. How much of an animal's world is learned, and how much was already there? But birds don't only carry songs. Some are born knowing who they belong to. Within hours of hatching, many birds experience one of the strangest processes in nature. Something called imprinting. The first moving creature they see can become their entire world. A baby bird does not sit there analyzing. It does not think, "Is this really my parent?" It simply accepts. This is my family. This is who I follow. This is where I survive. The famous scientist Konrad Lorenz discovered this in the 1930s. He separated goose eggs. Some hatched with a normal mother goose. Others hatched with him as the first moving thing they saw. The result looked almost unbelievable. The baby geese followed him everywhere. They did not just recognize him. They believed he was their parent. The first image their brain recorded became the answer. No lesson, no explanation. Just a built-in survival system activating at exactly the right moment. Because for a baby bird in the wild, following the wrong thing can mean death. But following the right thing means food, protection, a chance to survive. Nature created a shortcut, a way to learn something important without spending years learning it. But then there are birds that don't just know. They figure things out. And perhaps no bird shows this better than the crow. For a long time, humans underestimated birds. A tiny brain, a small body. How intelligent could they really be? Then scientists started testing them. And crows started doing things nobody expected. Researchers gave New Caledonian crows a complicated puzzle. To reach food, the bird had to complete multiple steps. First, pull a string to get a short stick. Then use that stick to get a longer stick. Then use the longer tool to reach the reward. The strange part? The birds had never been taught the complete sequence. Nobody showed them. Nobody trained them. But one crow looked at the problem and solved it, not by randomly trying forever, but by understanding something. A hidden idea. If something is too far away, use something else to reach it. The crow wasn't just copying, it was thinking. It was connecting pieces. It was creating a solution. A creature people once considered simple was building a plan inside its own mind. And then scientists discovered something even stranger. Some birds may have a basic understanding of numbers. Baby chicks, only days old, were tested with hidden objects. Researchers placed groups of objects behind screens. Then they secretly moved some around. The chicks were never taught mathematics. They never practiced. They never received a lesson. But when the screens opened, the chicks chose the side with the larger amount, as if their tiny brains were tracking quantity, as if they could understand more, less, difference, a concept that humans spend years teaching children. These birds were doing it almost immediately. The question was not, who taught them? The question became, how much was already built in? And maybe the most amazing example is something birds do every year: migration. Imagine being born in a place you've never left. Then one day, your brain tells you it is time to go. You have never made the journey. You have never seen the destination. Nobody shows you the way. And yet you fly thousands of miles. Some young birds travel alone, across oceans, across mountains, through storms, toward a place they have never seen. How? Scientists believe many migratory birds carry an inherited navigation system, a kind of biological compass, a built-in program that helps them know direction and timing, like having a map before ever seeing the road. A young bird can leave for the first time and somehow move toward a place it has never visited. It does not remember the route. It does not know the landmarks. It follows something deeper, something written into its nature. But maybe the strangest thing is not that birds can navigate, or sing, or solve puzzles. Maybe the strangest thing is that they are constantly surrounded by information we cannot see. A bird hears patterns, reads movement, recognizes danger, understands signals, and survives in a world where every decision matters. To us, a bird flying across the sky looks simple, but inside that tiny creature is a lifetime of instructions. Some learned, some inherited, some still mysterious. The next time you see a bird sitting quietly on a branch, remember, you might be looking at an animal that entered this world knowing things you spent years learning. A creature that never went to school, never had a teacher, never read a book, and still somehow understands a piece of the world it was born into. Maybe nature's greatest teachers are not always the ones who speak. Sometimes they are the ones who arrive already knowing. NCTA. What is the most surprising thing you think animals are born knowing? Tell me below. Because the more we look at nature, the more it becomes clear. There is a lot happening around us that we never noticed. And maybe nature has been teaching all along.